Oh. Oh. Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. The majority of our seekers live in North America. Even though there are seekers in our community from around the world, the majority are in North America. And many have shared with me that their parents are getting older. Their parents are enduring illnesses, and how hard this is for them because their parents are living abroad internationally, and they're in North America. We'll begin Meaningful Mornings by praying for all of our parents, all those who can't be with their parents. Invoke toughness and evoke faith. Sarve santu niramayaha. May all be healthy. Prince Arjuna is facing an intense challenge. Why intense? Because this is familial. It is close to him. And he has two choices. Choice number one is to follow right thinking. Then the acronym FEAR turns into face everything and rise. Rise to that challenge. In Sanskrit, we define this as vicharena nivartate. By right thinking, one is freed. The other choice is wrong thinking. Then the acronym FEAR becomes face everything and run. In Sanskrit, avichara krito bandha. Wrong thinking makes one limited. Unfortunately, Prince Arjuna chose wrong thinking. And this is why he's experiencing imbalance physically, attachment mentally, and complacency intellectually. Through all of this, he's seeking validation from Sri Krishna, who is not validating his wrong thinking. This is our flow of chapter 1. In our last verse, we explored how historically it is the Devis, the women in a family, in a community, that facilitate religion and culture. Part of the reason for this is that Devis, women, are more sensitive to the fact that there's more to life than meets the eye. There's more to life than what one is experiencing in terms of working and eating. Religion and culture are needed for one to feel complete. Prince Arjuna's point in sharing this with the death of the millions of fathers and sons in this war, this is not just going to affect the present generation, but the future generation also. Because there's going to be a mixture of relationships. Historically, traditionally, marriages were based on satsanga. You were married, you joined a family where you can evolve more. But that focus, that foundation will be mixed, will be diluted. If an individual is weaker, a family will be weaker, community, society, and so on. Think lots about the truth of what Prince Arjuna is sharing. In our classes, in our workshops, I've often shared with all of you, if you look around, the majority of those who join are our Devis, are our women. It is important for us to protect religion culture. Prince Arjuna continues with the same thought, but now he's extending this further. I keep reminding you that he's using logic now. He's bringing in the past. We are on verse 42. Sankaro narakayeva kulagnanam kulasya cha patanti pitaro hyesham lupta pindodaka kriyaha. The first quarter. Sankaro narakaya eva. With these mixing of relationships, there is going to be an experience of hell. Sankaraha, mixture. Narakaya, the experience of hell. This can be interpreted in two ways, this first line. The first will focus on the immediate. And I'm going to make this more subjective. Whenever there's a different purpose in a relationship, isn't that relationship harder to navigate, to experience? If my wife wants to live in a very luxurious way and I want to live in a very simple way, isn't that harder to live through? Making this even more subjective, if you have competing thoughts, one says get up for meaningful mornings, one says keep sleeping in, don't you feel more tired, more frustrated? I'm reminding all of you that hell is not just external, but it is internal. When a relationship has different purposes, when a personality has competing priorities, we experience this hell through tiredness, through frustration. We're away from ourselves, away from joy. Now, Prince Arjuna's perspective is he feels he's going to be the cause for this. Through the destruction that will happen in this war, he's going to be causing the present negativity, the death of millions, and future negativity due to the mixing of relationships. In trying to relate to this, when you watch the news, when you listen to the news, and there's a lot of negativity, what happens to you? You feel the same way, correct? Like what's happening in the Suez Canal? Did you do anything about that? Can you do anything about that? But still you feel the disorderliness, the wastefulness. See how we assume doership? That's what Prince Arjuna is doing also. That he is the one that is going to cause the present and future destruction. Not only that, now in the third quarter, patanti pitaro hyesham. What will also happen with this war? Pitaraha, our fathers, our families, patanti, they will fall. And here he's not referring to the physical death of the people involved, This means forefathers, our ancestors. The idea is our ancestors were the cause and we are the effect. My grandparents, my parents, me. If I am destroyed, then everything that they lived for and worked for is lost too. And relatedly, if the future is not bright, because no one's focusing on evolution, then the values that they lived and worked for, those will all be lost. In a micro sense, I've shared with you often that if we don't learn about our religion and culture, even language, all of this will die with one generation. What has lasted millions of generations will end with this generation. As simple as we've forgotten how to engage in puja in an authentic and deep way. Yes? So how will the next generation know how to engage in puja in an authentic and deep way? And now he brings in a ritual. And there's a lot of meaning behind this ritual. How is it that our forefathers will fall? Lupta, there will be an absence, kriyaha, of the engagement or offering of pinda and udaka. Pinda means balls of rice and udaka means water. In our tradition, when a body passes away, one of the last samskaras or milestones is for a family to cremate this body, to burn this body, and as they do so, they offer balls of rice and spoons of water. How many of you have experienced this? For that body that is burning, is there any use to that rice and water? If you're in this cremation area, are you interested in eating rice or drinking water? What this shows is the values that nourished us. Suppose my grandfather, my grandmother, the values that they nourished my parents with, me with, I'm offering that back, that I will live up to that. So this is an externalization of nourishment. And Prince Arjuna is sharing with millions who are going to die, who's going to engage in this ritual. Now there's a wrong thinking here, because if you offer this rice and water but live in an indisciplined way, are you carrying on those values? If you don't offer the rice and water but you live in a disciplined way, are you carrying on those values? Of course. This is called Shraddha, which means Shraddhasya kritam, to be done with faith. Whatever you do with faith becomes Shraddha. Prince Arjuna is taking the big picture and minimizing this, externalizing this. And he's doing all of this to justify his position. There is much more content in this verse, which I'll carry on with tomorrow. Trying to complete meaningful mornings on the Bhagavad Gita in 15 minutes is a great cause of stress for me. You may see me smile, but there's a lot of competing thoughts that are going on in my head. From inspiration to application. Your application recently was to rate yourself. 1 is awful, 100 is awesome, in terms of you being an ambassador of religion and culture. Does anyone want to share their self-rating? 75, 85, 50. Again, I don't have time to share this now, but tomorrow I'll explain how there's certain gauges, metrics for you to know this based on a great philosopher and leader. His name is Raja Prithu. So tomorrow I'll elaborate on that. Your application for this morning is, I want you to visualize the older generation, your great-grandparents, your grandparents, even your parents. And if they were to meet you and focus on religion and culture, would they be proud of you? Would the older generation be proud of you? Reflect on that. Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi. Be safe, be sound, be serene, be happiness.